Hello everyone! In this video I will show you how to create animated smoke tendrils in Houdini to get similar type of simulation like in One Piece Captain Smoker scene. Let's start! After you create a geometry node, go inside and create test geometry Electra. I will do animation for character in simple way. I just create two poses and later we'll blend them. I will use 3D connectivity selection mode to select arms and rotate and translate them to new position. As well, I will rotate head and upper body and move all character in Y positive axis. After I finish this posing, I will create blend shapes node, connect first one original pose and into second input the new pose. And now with blend we can mix between them. Set ghosting for blend shapes to see character. Alright, next step will be to create curve, what we will use later to guide particles. I'll create curve node. I'll choose Bezier curve to have nice smooth shape and press enter in the viewport to activate draw mode. And after I finished, I will switch to edit mode and adjust position of points and handles. After that, I will need to create second curve for second hand and repeat the same steps. Okay, when we are done with both curves, I can create resample node after curve and create convert node to convert Bezier curve to polygon. After that, I'll create attribute warp and I will add some movement to the spline. I'll use anti-aliased flow noise, set 3D output and add it to current position. We'll adjust frequency, set it around 0.42 and connect flow to time, so animation will change over time. Decrease maximum octaves for the noise because I need a smooth pattern. And create multiply constant to multiply time parameter to have slower animation. And choose real-time toggle to play it real-time. We can check on amplitude, but I think one default value is working pretty good. Now I want to create a mix node so I can animate everything except of part of curve which is close to the arm. But before that we should go to resample node and turn on checkbox for curve view attribute. It creates a normalized value along the length of spline. And now I'll create a bind node to import attribute into attribute warp. I'll put name curve view and connect it to mix parameter. After that, I'll create a ramp, and with that ramp, I will control which part would be animated and which one will stay static. Let's adjust the curve of ramp parameter. Alright, something like that. Now I'll create a carve node. With help of that, I'll animate progressive growth of the line. I'll choose first U parameter and set first key in the first frame and frame 50, I'll set it to 0. Now I'll create sweep node to create tube around curve. I'll set radius to 0.011 and choose end cap single polygon. Will be our emitter for particles. Now I can create pop network and connect sweep to first input and original curve without animation of growth. I'll connect to second input of pop network, go on side, disable guide for emitter surface, set life expectancy to 2 and life variance to 0.35. As well, I will remove overlapping particles. I'll choose with existing and increase amount of particles per second. Let's say it would be 70,000. Now time to create pop curve force, which will help us to move particles along the spline and rotate around it. First, let's reduce maximum of fluid's radius. I'll set something around 0.2. Now force is too strong. So let's reduce influence of that with air resistance parameter. I'll put it to 0.1. I'll increase suction scale to 25 and decrease follow scale to 0.2. So particles will be tighter to the center line. And now orbit force is pretty high as well. So let's decrease it to, let's say, 0.3. I will increase segment length in shaping tab, more points for the guided line. And as you see, our force applying with different strength, it's not strong enough in one of the tip of the curve. I will fix it. And now some particles, they just get off the curve, so let's kill them. I'll use pop kill. I plug it after merge node. And in bounding tab, I'll choose bounding sphere. And now I need to place the sphere to the end of the guided curve. Okay, now I'll create pop wind to add some turbulence to the motion. I'll set amplitude to 1, swirl size to 0.2. Let's check V3. Okay, it's too much. I'll decrease influence with air resistance parameter around 0.05. Okay, something 0.3, and we'll put amplitude back to 1. Okay, something like that. I'll create pop properties node and set p scale to 0.01. And now I will set maximum substeps to 5. So if particle moving too fast, it will do extra step in simulation. I'll set pop wind amplitude value 2. Okay, I can adjust slightly the position of pop kill bounding sphere and reduce life expectancy something around 1.5. Okay, go back to SOP level. I'll create DOP import field node and copy DOP network, choose pop object and choose from presets particles. So we can import them in SOP level. I'll create attribute wrangle where I'll create local normalize age attribute. I'll divide age by life. And let's set density attribute. I'll control it with ramp based on normalize age. So density in the beginning of particle life and in the end of particle life would be lower, so they can gradually inject density into pyro simulation. Next, I'll set p-scale for now at 0.1. And let's create volume rasterize attributes to create volume emitter. I'll choose density and coverage attribute. I'll choose p-scale. Okay, let's reduce p-scale to 0.03 and make slightly bigger resolution, for example, 0.01. And I will use velocity blur to smear volume slightly. I'll set shutter to 1 and blur samples 8. Adjust density curve for particles. And of course, I'll need to create volume for velocity and click on checkbox normalized by clamped coverage. It will give us more accurate emitter. And now I will multiply density attribute by 11. And now time to create pyro solver. I'll connect the first input emitter and click play. Let's increase resolution. I will put voxel size 0.01. I will increase time scale to 2 and add extra substep. Alright, now time to add ground collision. I'll go to collision stop, ground planes, and choose closed below for y-axis. And let's increase slightly resolution. I'll set 0.03 voxel size. Alright, now we can delete temperature from sourcing because we don't need temperature, and delete the flame. Keep only density and velocity, and I will increase incoming velocity field with multiplier 1.3. Something like that. And now we can add some drag with viscosity attribute. I'll put 0.005. And I will enable speed field. We will need to control with it disturbance later and disable flame. For now, I will disable curve, so line will stay forever. And now time to add turbulence. I'll set turbulence amount to 0.1, swirl size to 0.35. I'll choose, since we don't have temperature, threshold field density. And now simulation become fancier. Okay, let's decrease turbulence to 0.05. And now time to add disturbance. Let's set amount to 15 and block size to 0.07. I'll choose use control field by default at speed, but I will need compute range to see actual values. Let's decrease range to 0.1 and 2. Let's go to Output tab, disable color, flame, and temperature. We don't need these fields. Uncheck compute min maximum values and choose convert to VDB and use 16-bit float. I'll decrease voxel size to 0.01, have better resolution, and set up file cache node to cache simulation to disk. For now, I'll delete channels for frame range and set it from first frame to 50 and press Save to Disk button. Okay, caching done. So now I will set up volume visualization node to see simulation with higher density. I'll set density scale to 30 and set up a flipbook to see it real time. Great, now simulation is working. We can start applying animation from character to curve. To do that, I will animate blend attribute in blend shapes. I will set 0 to frame 50 and to frame 90 I'll set 1. To transfer animation, I will use point deform node. Plug curve into first input, into middle input I will plug original pose, and in the last input blend shapes. And now I can see that it's affecting the curve, but I don't want to have all animation for whole curve, so I will use a mix node again to transfer animation only to the end of the curve, which is closer to character arm. I go inside, create a mix node, create import point node, plug it into second input of mix node, and output I will plug into position. I'll create bind node, type curve U, connect it to bias and create a ramp parameter. Choose ramp type spline ramp, and now I will transfer animation only around the arm, so I'll need to adjust the ramp. I'll choose B-spline interpolation to have smoother transition. Alright, and now I'll create a smooth node to relax points. Okay, I'll keep filter quality at 2. And we'll do resample again right after smooth node. I'll enable back curve to have gross animation. Okay, do a couple adjustments to the ramp. We'll set 100 frames for caching and press Save to Disk. Alright, now we can see that we have these weird shooting particles in different directions. So I think it's because in the particle simulation some particles leaving the influence radius of spline force and just shooting into air. Yeah, it's because of character animation transfer. So let's fix it. I'll duplicate sweep node. I'll go inside. I copy maximum influence radius parameter from pop curve force and paste relative reference into radius of it. I will multiply it by 1.2. And now I copy paste to this node, and in pop kill I'll choose bounding object instead and set a path to this node. Just don't forget to click on invert, so particles inside of this geometry will be alive. Okay, seems like working. Alright, now see another problem, that some particles, we have the gap in the flow. It's because geometry have self-intersection. So I think we should switch to volumes instead. Let's create VDB from polygons. I'll increase resolution, something around 0.03. Click on Fill Interior and copy paste to VDB from polygons node. And choose bounding volume and set a path. Set is a surface to 0.01 click play, and let's see if it will fix the issue. Yeah, artifacts happens when character animation begin. Okay, now it's much better, so I think it's working. Okay, now we should go to the second curve and copy nodes what we created for first one. Let's make it cleaner, and I'll create object merge and just drag and drop paths to original poles and blend shapes, so we do not have any unnecessary long connections. And now I'll just simply choose all nodes after curve and before pyro solver and duplicate them. Let's reconnect curve. I'll create netbox for it. Okay, transferring is a bit weird here. Let's adjust the ramp. Or maybe I'll adjust curve a bit as well. Original curve, go to edit mode. Something like that. It's much better. You can adjust the ramp to have smoother connection. Relax point with smooth and resample it. And now apply animation. Okay, for carve, I'll just shift frame slightly. Let's hit play to see the particles. Cool, it's working. Let's check that velocity go right direction, so it comes out of hand. To see it better, I will set display trails in viewport. Yeah, because sometimes I think it's just because of turbulence they go in, because from hand they go in right direction. All should be good now. Yeah, and the icon of the pop curve force sets right direction as well. Nice. Now we should plug the second curve volume emitter to the pyro solver. Let's copy path to volume rasterize attributes, go inside of pyro solver. Create volume source node. Connect it to source's output. Into soap path, paste path to volume rasterize node. Initialize smoke, and let's delete temperature. For velocity, I'll set 1.7 multiplier, and don't forget to click on enlarge fields to contain sources. Okay, now both emitter working. As well, let's create gas vortex confinement. To add a couple more details, I'll set confinement scale to 3. Let's display ghosting both curve and set bounds for simulation in case it goes too far, so it simulating faster. I'll set limit maximum size and set container boundaries, and then we can save simulation to disk. Alright, let's merge character and smoke simulation to see it together. I have only 100 frames. I'll create a flipbook, change to 100. I see that some smoke close to camera is clipping slightly, so I'll need later to adjust boundaries of simulation, but overall everything is working. Only one thing what I will do, I'll increase for first curve velocity to 1.5 and decrease for second one to 1.5 as well. And now I set end frame to 200 and start caching to disk. Okay, caching done, so I can check almost full frame range. And now we can go and create loop network to start setup render. I'll create null after file cache and call it smoke. And create another null after character geometry and call it character. Go inside of loopnet, create sub import node, choose sublayer style to copy and paste pass to smoke null. Create graph stages, remove primitive pass and set destination pass to /world/smoke. Then I will copy pass to character null. Create material library and assign pyro smoke shader. Increase density to 10 and make brighter smoke color. For the character, I'll create Karma Material Builder and remove specular and set up bluish color for diffuse. Assign to geometry, put a star. Now I can create new camera, position it, and create dome light. I will choose texture for it. And now I will create a ground. I'll do it with subcreate. Go inside. Create grid. Increase scale. Increase size. And create UV texture. And create UV quick shade just to copy pass to this checkerboard texture. So later I can plug it into material. Okay. Let's copy graph stages. Called world ground. And in Karma material, I'll reset diffuse color. But actually, I will use image. Create material X image, put a texture name, connect it to base color. And now I can set up a Karma. Choose Karma setup. Choose XPU. Increase volume step rate to 0.5. And let's check the render itself. Okay, the smoke is still a bit dark. So what I can do, I can go to shader and make it even more brighter. And after that, I can go to Karma settings and set limit for volume to 2. Now smoke becomes brighter. Let's decrease density to 7.5 and set output path. I'll call it smoke cap. Set render frame range. This is the end result of the render. I changed a couple of things. I added texture to the floor and added a couple more streams on the ground. Basically here nothing new. I just copy already existing setup and just created a new curve this new animation. If you like it, hit like and subscribe to my channel. Cheers!